Kilauea just completed its 44th lava fountain in 16 months. Episode 43 blasted a record 1,770 feet into the sky. Episode 44 dropped softball-sized rocks on residential neighborhoods. And USGS says Episode 45 could begin any day this week. Here's everything the Hawaiian Volcano Observatory detected, and what the number 45 actually means. This is not just a Hawaii story. Ash from this eruption has reached Hilo, 30 miles from the crater. It hit Puna. It hit the Hamakua coast. It blanketed Highway 11 and forced closures twice in 60 days. USGS has Kilauea at watch alert right now. The summit crater has swallowed 325 million cubic yards of fresh lava since December 2024. That's enough material to fill 130,000 Olympic swimming pools. Every few weeks, the mountain refills and erupts again, and the fountains keep getting taller. Let's go back to where this started. December 23, 2024. Just after midnight. 2 vents opened inside Halemaʻumaʻu crater at Kilauea's summit. One on the north side, one on the south, and the first lava fountain rose into the Hawaiian night. It was modest, around 100 feet, the size of a 10-story building, impressive to anyone standing there, but nothing that suggested what was coming. The eruption paused, the crater deflated, and within weeks, it happened again. That's the pattern. Magma floods the shallow reservoir beneath the summit. Tiltmeters on the crater rim climb. Pressure builds for days or weeks. Then the vents open, the reservoir drains fast, and the clock resets. By mid-2025, those fountains were clearing 1,000 feet. That's taller than the Eiffel Tower. Molten rock shooting straight up. Episode 39 on December 24, 2025, hit 1,400 feet. Towns 30 miles away could see the glow. But here's where it gets strange. The heights kept climbing even as the cycle continued. Episode 43 on March 10, 2026 changed everything. At 9:17 in the morning, both vents fired simultaneously. The south vent climbed past 300 feet, past 500 feet, past 1,000 feet. It peaked at 1,170 feet, 540 meters straight up. USGS Hawaiian Volcano Observatory confirmed it. A new eruption record. The plume shot 15,000 feet above sea level. Ash started falling on Volcano Village within the hour. By noon, Hilo had ash. By 2 p.m., the Hamakua coast was covered. Over 200 residents filed TEFRA reports with USGS. Highway 11 was buried and shut down. Heavy equipment worked through the night to clear it. And that wasn't even the most alarming part. Then came Episode 44, April 9, 2026. The north vent fired at 11:10 in the morning. 800 feet this time, lower than the record, but still massive. It ran for 8 hours and 31 minutes without stopping. Tephra chunks 10 inches wide rained down on the Volcano Golf Course subdivision. Pele's hair, strands of volcanic glass thinner than a human hair, drifted all the way to Hilo. Parts of Hawaiʻi Volcanoes National Park were evacuated. Episode 44 ended at 7:41 p.m. Deflation began. The cycle reset. USGS data shows the caldera floor has risen 300 feet since December 2024. During peak episodes, sulfur dioxide pours out at up to 75,000 tons per day, confirmed by HVO. Between episodes, it runs between 1,000 and 5,000 tons daily. That gas becomes VOG, volcanic smog, that drifts across the island and sometimes reaches Oahu. Right now, the communities closest to the crater are living on a rhythm they've come to know, but haven't gotten used to. Volcano Village, Kilauea Military Camp, the Volcano Golf Course subdivision. These neighborhoods have absorbed Tephra falls twice in 60 days. Highway 11, the main road connecting the summit to Hilo, has been shut and cleared twice since March. The Waikahuna Overlook, where thousands of visitors come to watch the eruptions, has been closed repeatedly. Hilo sits 30 miles away. Ash has reached the city multiple times. And here's something that doesn't make the headlines often enough. Many Hilo area residents rely on rooftop rainwater catchment for drinking water. When Tephra coats a roof and rain hits, fluoride from the volcanic rock dissolves into the water supply. USGS scientists tested catchment tank water after Episode 41. On rooftops that hadn't been cleared, fluoride levels hit 7 to 10 parts per million. The EPA limit for public water is 4. That is a drinking water problem. Air quality across the Big Island has been swinging between unhealthy for sensitive groups and hazardous. Episode 45 is expected to hit between April 20th and April 25. That window opens tomorrow. Here's the bigger story, and it's one geologists have been quietly watching for months. This type of eruption is rare. USGS Hawaiian Volcano Observatory geologist Katie Mulliken said it clearly. Kilauea has only had 3 eruptions like this in its modern recorded history, where discrete, episodic high fountains repeated over months or years. 3 eruptions in the last 70 years. The first was Kilauea Iki in 1959. 17 episodes. The highest fountains ever recorded at Kilauea, 1,900 feet. The second was Maunaulu, from 1969 to 1974. Episodic fountaining across multiple years. The third was Pu'u'o'o. It began in January 1983. It produced 44 early fountaining episodes. Then it transitioned into something else entirely, a continuous lava flow that ran for 35 years. It covered 100 square kilometers of land. It destroyed the communities of Kapaho and Kalapana. It wiped out Hawaii's largest natural freshwater lake. Watch what happens next. The current Halema-Uma'u eruption has now completed 44 fountaining episodes. 44. That is the same number Pu'u'o'o produced before it changed character. USGS geologist Mulliken has noted that Pu'u'o'o held the all-time record for most fountaining episodes in Kilauea's history. Episode 45 would break that record. Scientists are not saying this eruption will follow the Pu'u'o'o path. They are clear. All current activity is confined to the summit caldera. Lava has not left the crater. There is no threat to communities from lava flows at this time. But the question is being asked. And after 44 episodes, it deserves to be asked. The number you're about to see makes this even clearer. NASA's Landsat 9 satellite has tracked the caldera filling. HVO reports that nearly half the volume lost in the massive 2018 collapse, when Kilauea's summit dropped hundreds of feet in weeks, has already been refilled by this eruption cycle. The mountain is rebuilding itself faster than most scientists expected. So what happens next and when? USGS Hawaiian Volcano Observatory posted its most recent daily update on April 18, 2026. The forecast is specific. Episode 45 is expected sometime between Monday, April 20th, and Saturday, April 25th. 3 things to track as it approaches. First, the tiltmeter. Since episode 44 ended on April 9th, the Wekahuna tiltmeter has recorded 13.1 microradians of inflationary tilt. Episode 44 itself released 17.6 microradians when it fired. The reservoir is more than 3/4 refilled. When that number closes the gap, the vents are likely to open within hours. Second, the south vent. It has been glowing and producing flames every night since episode 44 ended. That's volcanic gas igniting at the surface. In past episodes, sustained flaming at the south vent preceded the main fountain event by 24 to 72 hours. The south vent is already active right now. That clock is running. Third, seismic tremor. HVO shows low tremor during the current pause, with brief bursts tied to gas movement in the vents. When fountaining begins, tremor spikes sharply. A sudden jump in tremor paired with a rapid drop in tilt. That's the signal. Here's the realistic range of outcomes. If episode 45 follows recent patterns, expect 8 to 12 hours of continuous activity. Fountain heights between 500 and 1,500 feet are plausible based on recent episodes. Tephra will fall downwind. Air quality will drop. Highway 11 may close again. Now the worst case, clearly labeled as worst case. If episode 45 matches or exceeds episode 43's 1,170-foot record, and southerly winds push the plume northeast, USGS warns that tephra fall could blanket a wide corridor including Volcano Village, Hilo, Puna, and potentially communities along the Hamakua coast. Hilo residents on rainwater catchment should disconnect downspouts before the eruption starts, not after. The Hawaii County Civil Defense Agency is actively monitoring. The best case? Episode 45 fires small, lower fountains. Winds push tephra back into the closed park zone. The eruption lasts 6 hours or less. Communities to the northeast barely notice. That outcome is possible. But episode 44 was also expected to be modest, and rocks the size of cantaloupes still hit people's front yards. The trajectory of this eruption has been upward. from 100-foot fountains in January 2025 to 1,170 feet in March 2026. And now, episode 45 stands at the edge of making history. More fountaining episodes than any Kilauea eruption in the modern record. USGS will post daily updates. The HVO eruption page is linked in the description. If you live within 50 miles of the summit, check it every morning this week. 3 things to remember. Kilauea has now completed 44 lava fountaining episodes since December 23, 2024, matching the all-time record held by Pu'u'o'o before that eruption ran for 35 years and consumed entire communities. Episode 43 on March 10, 2026, fired a 1,170-foot fountain, the highest in this eruption cycle, confirmed by USGS as a new record. That plume reached 15,000 feet and dropped ash on high-low. And episode 45 is expected to begin between April 20 and April 25. The tilt meter is nearly full. The south vent is already flaming. If you want to stay ahead of what's happening to this planet right now, subscribe. I post every time something major hits. Coming next, what actually happened after Pu'u'o'o's 44th fountaining episode, and the moment scientists realized that eruption had changed character forever. If episode 45 tips this eruption toward that path, that video tells you exactly what to watch for. It's on screen right now. Stay safe.